All right, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the channel. My name is Moose, and we are here. We're going to be spectating and shoutcasting a live game here on the channel today. Hopefully, you guys have a good day so far, and let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. Before we get any further, please, thank you guys all so much for stopping by. If you guys do enjoy the content, please feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course follow my Twitter for any updates on future casts and opportunities to see my work on either tournament stages or on these solo moose casts. So let's go ahead and dive right into this one. Thank you to David HSB, the Lucian here on the Blue Sentinels, for letting me be his friend on the channel and or on his profile page and giving me the opportunity to just get straight into the game. But with that being said, and without further ado, let's dive right in. Over on the Blue Sentinels, Gorilla Jones playing as the Kled, Doompa playing as the Elise. We got Dualisa NYC as the Lysandra, David HSB as the Lucian, and then Juoso playing as the Janna. Meanwhile, over on the Red Bramblebacks, the Bramblebacks are going to be hosting a Top Akali played by Shikari. S2IG fan is going to be piloting the Graves. Shinigami, the Kassadin. You've got Spirited Haku as the Jin. And I can't even get through it as we get a flash away. Nice reaction there to avoid the deadly flourish. As SGI2 fan just goes straight into the brush, going to be dealt a lot of damage, but is going to be A-okay for the time being. A nice knock-up, going to be Spirited Haku coming through. Dualisa is going to be able to pick up first blood as he tries to pick up even more, trying to run away, but won't be able to. Shinigami will walk out as well. Okay, so we've got ourselves an early bloodbath so far. First blood going to go over to Dualisa NYC as the Lysandra, and then it's Shinigami as the Kassadin that picks up the kill against them. So, with that being said, it does an early 400 gold and 300 gold for both of these mid laners. It also delays the jungle path for this Graves S2IG fan, going to have a little bit of a delayed route. Worried maybe about his blue buff getting invaded upon, so he decides to go to the red side first. So at the end of the day, I mean, anytime that your jungler is so far behind or gets behind in the early game, like we saw yesterday, the game that we played with the Rengar, who was able to get 2 kills on his Viego opponent within the first 2 minutes, or first 4 minutes, I mean, resulting in just a massive lead for the Bramblebacks in that game that gave them the advantage and enough power for them to be able to win the game fairly easily. So, this time, it's going to be up to S2IG fan to capitalize on the power of the Graves, maybe potentially be able to get some plays coming through. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, David HSB picking up a kill against Spirited Haku. So, it's going to be a nice early kill here for this bot side. But again, it's S2IG fan. He's behind. He wasn't there. If he was there a couple of seconds earlier, that could have been potentially a nice gank. But he is a little bit behind. He doesn't get there in time, and he ends up falling short in being able to assist his Jin from being able to come in and maybe pick up a kill there. However, we do have a gank potentially. Dualisa NYC going to try to use the grasp into the root. It won't be able to survive, however. S2IG fan picking up the kill, and now Doompa is the next target here. Going to try to go in for the 2v1. Gonna flash away, so he will be able to survive, but now has the support of the Janna as well as Gorilla Jones as well. They're gonna dash through, but instead they are going to end up just backing away, so it'll just be 1 kill for the side of the Bramblebacks. All right, we got a little bit of a reprieve. We've seen now 4 kills total, 2 kills for each team, resulting in a pretty much even game state. Let's see here. I mean, whenever you can get a Kassadin into a lead, that is pretty good. And Shinigami is now at 1,100 gold, almost enough for that lost chapter. So 1,300 gold for the lost chapter. Shinigami is gonna fall barely though, and we'll end up not being able to pick that up before he backs. That was maybe the goal there. try to stay in a little while longer to try to pick up that early tome to be able to get that momentum here in the game or here in the early game, but unfortunately just not going to be able to get it in time. So instead he settles for the Mercury Treads. He sees that, you know, there is a lot of CC. Doompa playing as the Elise does have the Cocoon. You've got the Root and the Frozen Tomb from the Lysandra, and you've also got the Tornado from the Gianna. So using those, or using that as his reasoning, saying, hey, you know, might as well just go with the Mercury Treads here. I don't have enough gold to get the Lost Chapter. I'll pick up the boots. I'm going to get them anyways. It's going to put him a little bit behind in being able to pick up his mythic item, but he'll have that extra movement speed, and he should be feeling okay up against the Lysandra, especially once he hits level 6. He'll be able to use the extra mobility, use Riftwalk a little bit more effectively. We can't even talk about that. David HSB and Juioso are now in trouble. S2IG fan with the deep gank will be able to pick up the kill onto the Gianna, but will they be able to survive? David HSB picks up the kill, makes it a 1-for-1. Jungler for support, and that will be the end of the play. So, trading up there for the side of the Sentinels, so they are able to pick up the jungler for the support. So having a little bit more of a presence on the Rift was going to result in the gank to Alyssa NYC, easily picking up the kill there. Gorilla Jones in trouble. Perfect execution's going to get used, and it's going to be Shikari going to be able to pick up the kill, the solo kill, on to the Kled in the top lane. Another potential dive here. Doompa is going to try to pick it up. Going to go straight in onto the Jhin, and it's a double kill for David HSB. Beautifully dove by the side of the Sentinels. Doompa picks up a turret shot. David HSB picked up a turret shot, and then it was the Ajana that ended up making sure that everyone stays protected. So they are all pretty much not full HP, but they are enough HP to be able to stay fairly healthy here. Question now remains, will they be able to get away from Shinigami, who roamed down using the extra mobility from those Mercury Treads to try to pick up the kill onto David HSB. The knockups are coming through. David HSB is going to dash away. Can he survive? He cannot. It'll be a shutdown. He was on a 4-kill streak there, but unfortunately will not be able to survive the power of the Caston, and he'll pick up his second kill of the game, and with the 900 gold, could potentially pick up a Blasting Wand, or could go for something else. Decides to go for more magic resistance as he picks up the Null Magic Mantle and Dark Seal. So a couple of extra kills. The double kill over for David HSB will net him his Berserker Greaves, a Noon Quiver, and a Pickaxe here at the 7-8-ish minute mark. So pretty good progression here for the Lucian, who wants to be ahead of the Jhin. No, he is going to have a little bit of a better time here in the earlier game, but once the game gets a little bit lower, it's going to be a little bit rough. SGI2 fan in trouble, trying to be able to get away from Doompa, but Doompa is just going to get annihilated from Shikari with that perfect execution, but Duelissa NYC with the Frozen Tomb will be able to pick up the kill on to S2IG fan, and Shinigami will have to use Riftwalk to run away. So it ends up being jungle for jungle in the top lane as the bloodbath continues. Because of the very high roam coming through from Juioso, does mean that David HSB is here all alone in the bottom lane, and we'll have to play carefully. We'll get solo EXP, but can't really push forward. We'll have to wait to be able to come through. Shuriken's going to land. Shakar is going to be in the shroud, but will not be able to save Shinigami, and now Shikari is trying to be able to survive himself. No flash. Ignite, Teleport are the summoner spells. Knockup is going to land. Gorilla Jones will pick up the kill on to the Akali. Get up extra 300 gold there. Doompa's going to be caught out up against FSG or S2IG fan as Curtain Call comes in, but David HSB with the culling will pick up a nice kill again onto this Graves. Now 2-4-2. Now without the threat of Curtain Call, David HSB should feel a little bit more comfortable here in this lane. Level 7 against 2 level 6 champions, can just stay under tower and hopefully see us fairly well. Giving up maybe another turret plate here in the next rotation of minions, but still, you know, being able to get solo EXP and staying fairly even CS-wise is definitely a good sign here for this Lucian. Beginning good signs here for the Sentinels. They're up by about 2,000 HP. Shinigami is going to get hit by the root. Going to try to Rift Walk away. Doompa is coming through. Going to try to go in for Repel here. See if they are able to find it onto Shinigami, but instead he just backs off. So they won't be able to pick up that play. Meanwhile, another gank from S2YG fan. David HSB is in trouble. We do not have Monsoon quite yet for the Janna, but a nice tornado will make sure that the gank ends in failure. Bramblebacks not able to pick up multiple kills onto this bottom lane. Just the one kill onto David HSB is only what they get. Jakari is going to be in the Shroud against Gorilla Jones, who has the double buffs. Uses perfect execution to get away. Gorilla Jones going to get hit by that. Is it going to end up being a play here? No, Doompa's going to try to get the slow onto Shikari. Gets the Chilling Smite and sure does pick up the kill. Another gank coming in from Doompa as this Elise. 7 out of 12 kill participation here so far. So pretty nicely done here for the Sentinels. They're up by 3k gold at the 11-minute mark. Cloud Drake is online, but that is a fairly late first Drake for whatever team decides if they want to go for it. Doompa's been pretty deep with these plays here, and Riftwalk will be used to be able to get away from the Lysandra. Frozen Tomb's gonna get used, and Doompa's gonna get destroyed. Repel to be able to get away from Shinigami, and that's gonna lead to yet another death for S2IG fan. Picks up the Eclipse, but his 2-5-2 is just getting bullied by the CC that this Lysandra has brought to the table, as well as the constant pressure from Doompa being at the right place at the right time. Picking up yet another turret plate here against the mid lane tower, just trying to be able to continue to harass this Kassadin. And so they're definitely happy about this performance here. Shinigami, building all of these resistances, has the Verdant Crescent, or the Verdant Barrier, pardon me, has the Mercury Treads, has not built a lick of HP or AP yet, except out of the Verdant Barrier. So way behind on trying to be able to pick up a mythic item, but maybe the luck of the Bramblebacks will change. Nice dodge away from the final shot. Monsoon is going to get used, but collateral damage will be enough to be able to pick up the kill against David HSB. Another kill there against the Lucian as he picks up his Gale Force. Still in decent position CS-wise. Is going to fall a little bit behind, but definitely, feeling pretty happy about that. The stun's going to land onto Shinigami fan, and trying to be able to come through using the Rift Walk, but right into the hands of the Spider Queen herself. Will pick up a kill for Doompa, now 3-1-6. As the mid lane tower gets taken, the Cloud Drake will be taken by the Bramblebacks. But that, again, like I said, that is a 13-minute Drake. A 13-minute Cloud Drake. First Drake here over on the side of the Bramblebacks. That's going to mean at the very least, or the very earliest, a 28-minute Soul. And that would be at the absolute earliest, but they are looking to finish this game before that even happens. Nice use of the Shroud. Gorilla Jones cannot get the knockup onto Shikari. Shinigami is going to use Teleport and try to Rift Walk through. Gorilla Jones kind of in trouble here. Julioso is a little bit in trouble, but uses another nice tornado. Shinigami getting hit with the Chilling Smite and try to walk away. S2IG fan and Spumom are trying to come through to pick up maybe these kills, clean this up. The dive not working out in the Sentinels' favor now could potentially result in their death. Shinigami gets hit by the Cocoon under tower, down to about 300 HP. Duelisa NYC comes in with a flash and picks up the kill on to Shinigami, as well as Shikari falling thanks to Gorilla Jones, who has Scarl, going to be able to drop some damage and then back off. Colin's going to use Spirited Haku is extremely low. Gale Force used to be able to take that kill. An S2IG fan gonna have to flash away from the power of this 6-2 Lucian. We'll get away with Spumom to be able to survive, but that is getting another tower gonna go down. This one in the mid lane, and pretty powerful stuff coming in from the Sentinels. However, will it be enough for them to be able to survive this teleport from Shikari? Frozen Tomb gets used, and Lissandra picks up the kill. Teleport unsuccessful there for the Bramblebacks. And now the play is coming in once again. Teleport coming used by Gorilla Jones. His final chapter gets used. Trying to be able to pick up some kills, pick up anything here for the Bramblebacks. As S2IG fan running for the hills, flash into the bite from Doompa will pick up yet another kill for the Sentinels as they are a 5-man squad going towards the top inner tower. 19-8, an 8,000 gold lead 15 minutes in. This is looking like a rout. Really solid early game has now resulted in what has been a phenomenal lead here for the Sentinels. Bramblebacks are definitely running for the hills, and this is exactly what the Sentinels needed to do. When you have a Lucian, Janna, Lissandra, you want to be able to use the early game power of the Lucian, or the early mid-game power of the Lucian, and the extra mobility that you have to be able to potentially secure earlier game kills, which is exactly what they were able to do and what they continue to do, as Gorilla Jones is able to pick up the kill against Shinigami and then just kind of plays with his food a little bit. Boomom is there, but it's Duelissa NYC that picks up the kill. So actually, maybe that was not what Gorilla Jones wanted. Maybe he actually wanted to play with the kitty a little bit more, but instead, Duelissa NYT picks up the kill and is now 7-3-5 with a 300 gold bounty. Within all of that, though, the first and only Rift Herald was captured here from the side of the Sentinels as they are able to find their way into what I said, a 9,000 gold lead. They picked up some pretty nice items early on as well. Eclipse picked up for Gorilla Jones, along with Hextech Rocket Belt for Doompa, playing for the power of the extra mobility and the Rocket Belt. Kari's now in trouble, will get hit by the Yordle Snap Trap, and that's going to be a beautiful kill there for this Kled in the solo play. We've also got the Luden's Tempest, along with almost getting the Shadow Flame for Duelist NYC. David HSB looking for 2 items as well, has Caulfield's Warhammer and the Sheen. And then, of course, we got also the Janna 0-1 and 15. Got the Shirelias along with the Boots of Swiftness so far, but maybe even not having an opportunity to go for anything else just yet, because this game is looking pretty one-sided. I mean, when Shinigami as the Castellan has to pick up the early Banshee's Veil to try to be able to stay alive and still can't pick up kills, it's definitely not a good sign. And he just gets completely destroyed here from Duelist NYC, and Juioso being able to keep the Lissandra alive with the Monsoon. Nice dodge of the Deadly Flourish there from David HSB. Double headbutt coming in for Doompa. So, I mean, everything is going the way of the Sentinels. They're in the lead still by now at 11, by almost a 11,000 gold margin, 10,000 gold at the moment. They have pretty solid run of the game, and they can decide what and where they want to play their objectives towards. They're going to be able to pick up the Mountain Drake. We're going to get an Infernal Soul here in this one. But unfortunately for the Bramblebacks, like, you're looking to see if the Jin can get to 3 items, Shinigami can get to level 16 to really put in the damage. But in order for them to get to level 16, you've got to wait. You know, it's going to take 10 minutes, if not longer, for them to get to that point. And so, you know, you've got to go for these low percentage plays, high risk, low reward, but try to be able to get any sort of picks, any sort of advantages that you can, because you haven't even been able to really get any damage onto these towers yet either. As we get charge coming in from Gorilla Jones, trying to be able to get the kill onto Spirited Haku, but instead it's going to be the Frozen Tomb for Duelissa NYC, maybe biting off a little more than they can chew, being able to get away from the curtain call, but Shikari will be able to get the shutdown onto Lissandra. That is an extra 800 gold in the Akali's pocket. Will that mean much, though, as we get a double go for David HSB? Spirited Haku trying to be able to pick up any more kills themselves, but unfortunately will only be able to provide damage and be a body. Of course, Boomom and the Yumi. As we get another Claptrap coming through, Haku's going to be the play. The shield's going to keep David HSB alive. And it's Boomom, the only member of the Bramblebacks alive for the time being, as Doompa is able to solo kill that tower in the bot lane. We get a full reset from the Sentinels as they are able to then, pick up the items that they were able to get from their spoils of war. Another big item pickup here now. David Dualissa able to pick up their Shadow Flame along with 2 hourglasses. One getting picked up for Doompa, one being able to pick up for Dualissa, along with the Last Whisper here for David HSB. Picks up the Essence Reaver as a second item. So with that being said, now let's take a look at the Bramblebacks here. We've got 1.5-ish items for Shikari. We've got almost 2 items for the S2IG fan. Spirited Haku almost has 2 items, but he gets hit by the Frozen Tomb and gets sent back to Fountain within like 3 seconds. And we still don't have a full item for Spumam on the Yuumi, who's 0, 2, and 4, has only 4 assists in the game. Almost half of the kill participation there. I mean, if it's any saving grace for S2IG fan, like, he does at least have 2/3 kill participation. He's been involved in a lot of the kills, but he's also a quarter of the Bramblebacks' total deaths at 3, 7, and 3. Shinigami, unfortunately, despite getting the extra resistances early on, hasn't been able to do much, and now Spirited Haku is just getting spirited away, unfortunately. Back to the Spirit Realm he goes once again as he gets obliterated under tower. Gorilla Jones using charge. Shinigami is trying to be able to run away for the hills along with Spumam there as another inhibitor tower falls. This one going to be in the top lane. The mid lane tower is going to get taken as well, and you have to think that this game is about to be over as Baron buff was taken a little while back. So with that being said, I mean, the lesson here is making sure that making sure that you know tempo of the game and understanding that junglers are so important in the early game to be able to keep tempo and to be able to keep control of the lanes and be able to make sure that plays are able to happen. If one jungler gets so far behind in the early game, it's just going to not be fun. And Doompa was able to get whatever they wanted in the early game. Like, there wasn't really a contest from the Graves. And you needed to have the power and you needed to have the control in the early game so that the Bramblebacks had the opportunity to potentially get to that mid-game point to then have that snowball. Because, I mean, once they hit, level 14, 15, 16 on the Jhin, the Cassidy, and the Akali, like, things were looking very good, but they were never able to get to a point. The level 1 didn't really work out in their favor. The control of the map was always on the Sentinel side, despite the, some pretty good early pathing, I'd say, from the Graves. Just wasn't able to find it. And I mean, the early gold that the Caston was able to get was for a Mercury Treads. Stayed a little bit too long and had to pick up Mercury Treads there. Couldn't actually have enough damage to really contest the Lysandra, who was able to build full AP. We had it was Mercury Treads into Verdant Barrier into Tear of the Goddess for the Cassidon. That's like, 20 ability power that entire play there. So, or through that entire itemization. So, I mean, he wasn't dealing damage, and he needed to be dealing damage at any point to be able to potentially have some chance, because unfortunately, despite, having all those resistances, he still got dove and he still got just completely killed throughout the early game. Anyway, though, thank you guys all so much for watching. Thank you guys all so much for enjoying the content. We'll be back again later for more solo queue MooseCasts. But in the meantime, stay safe, everyone. Have a good night and take care.